Imagine standing at the precipice of success, looking at everything you've achieved, and yet a nagging voice whispers, "You don't deserve this. You're a fake. Any moment now, they're going to find you out." This isn't just self-doubt. It's a profound, persistent feeling experienced by millions. Hey everyone, Harper here. Today, we're deep diving into that pervasive feeling of being a fraud, even when all evidence points to your competence. The feeling I just described. That's the essence of imposter syndrome. Coined in 1978 by clinical psychologists Pauline R. Clance and Susan A. Amez, it's not a mental illness, but rather a persistent psychological pattern where an individual doubts their accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Think about that for a moment. It's not about actually being incompetent. It's about feeling incompetent despite undeniable evidence to the contrary. You might have just landed a dream job, received a promotion, or achieved a significant personal milestone. Your peers, your mentors, your family, they all see your success. They celebrate your intelligence, your skill, your hard work. Yet, deep down, you attribute it all to luck, timing, or even active deception. You tell yourself, "I just got lucky," or "they overestimated me," or "if they only knew the real me, they'd realize I'm not good enough." This internal monologue can be incredibly draining, creating a constant state of anxiety and fear of exposure. It's like living under a microscope, constantly scrutinizing your own actions and fearing that any minor mistake will confirm your deepest insecurity. It affects high achievers disproportionately, which might seem counterintuitive, right? You'd think successful people would be brimming with confidence. But often, the higher you climb, the more intense these feelings can become. The stakes feel higher, the expectations greater, and the fear of failure more paralyzing. It's a vicious cycle where every success only amplifies the fear of being found out. We're going to unpack this complex phenomenon, looking at its origins, its impact, and crucially, how we can begin to dismantle its power over us. Get ready to challenge those self-limiting beliefs. So, what exactly fuels this pervasive feeling? The psychology behind imposter syndrome is fascinating and multi-layered. It often stems from a combination of personality traits, family dynamics, and societal pressures. For example, individuals who grew up in families that emphasized achievement or constantly compared them to siblings might be more susceptible. If you were praised for being smart rather than for your effort, you might develop a fear of failure, believing that any mistake will reveal you're not as intelligent as people think. Perfectionism is another huge factor. Imposter syndrome often coexists with an intense drive for perfection. When you set impossibly high standards for yourself, any deviation from those standards, no matter how minor, can be interpreted as catastrophic failure, reinforcing the belief that you're not good enough. This isn't about healthy ambition. It's about an unhealthy pursuit of flawlessness that makes every task a high-stakes performance. There's also the element of cognitive dissonance. You have external evidence of your competence, but an internal narrative that contradicts it. Your brain struggles to reconcile these two opposing realities, often defaulting to the negative internal belief. This can be exacerbated by cultural or societal expectations, especially in certain fields or demographics. For instance, women, minorities, and first-generation professionals often report higher rates of imposter syndrome, suggesting that systemic biases and lack of representation can amplify feelings of not belonging or not being truly qualified. The external environment can trigger it, but the internal framework, built on early experiences and ingrained beliefs, is what sustains it. Understanding these root causes is the first crucial step towards disarming the imposter within. It's about recognizing that these feelings aren't random. They're often a deeply learned response. It might surprise you to learn just how common imposter syndrome is, affecting an estimated 70% of people at some point in their lives. And crucially, it doesn't discriminate based on success or status. We're talking about incredibly accomplished individuals across every field imaginable. Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and civil rights activist, famously admitted, "I have written 11 books, but each time I think, uh-oh, they're going to find me out now. I've run a game on everybody, and they're going to find me out." Even Albert Einstein, a man whose name is synonymous with genius, reportedly struggled with these feelings, calling himself an involuntary swindler. Think about that. The person who gave us the theory of relativity felt like a fraud. This underscores a critical point. Imposter syndrome is not a sign of weakness or incompetence. Quite the opposite, in fact. It often plagues high achievers, those who are driven, intelligent, and conscientious. They are often the ones pushing boundaries, taking on new challenges, and constantly learning, which ironically can trigger these feelings more frequently. When you step outside your comfort zone, it's natural to feel a bit unsure, but for someone with imposter syndrome, that normal uncertainty escalates into crippling self-doubt. It's prevalent in academia, among entrepreneurs, in creative fields, and increasingly in the fast-paced world of technology. The rise of social media, with its curated highlight reels, also plays a significant role, fostering constant comparison and making it harder to acknowledge one's own worth. It creates a skewed perception of everyone else's success, making your own feel less valid. The consequences of untreated imposter syndrome extend far beyond just feeling a bit down. It can severely impact your career progression, mental health, and overall quality of life. Professionally, it can manifest as perfectionism, leading to burnout because you constantly overwork to prove your worth, or conversely, procrastination, where you avoid starting tasks for fear of not meeting impossibly high internal standards. You might shy away from promotions, speaking opportunities, or new projects, even when you're clearly qualified, simply because the fear of exposure is too great. Think of all the opportunities missed, the potential left untapped, all because of an internal narrative that screams, "You're not good enough." Beyond career, the constant anxiety and self-doubt can take a heavy toll on your mental well-being. It can lead to chronic stress, anxiety disorders, and even depression. The emotional exhaustion of constantly battling your own internal critic is profound. You might struggle to accept praise, deflecting compliments, and diminishing your achievements, which can even affect your relationships. People who genuinely admire your work might find it frustrating when you dismiss their recognition. Furthermore, it creates a barrier to authentic connection. If you constantly feel like you're hiding a secret, that you're an imposter, it's hard to truly be yourself with others. This can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness, reinforcing the belief that no one truly understands your struggle. It's a silent battle that prevents you from fully embracing your true potential and enjoying the fruits of your labor. The good news: you don't have to live with it. So how do we begin to combat this pervasive feeling? The good news is, imposter syndrome can be managed and its grip lessened. The first crucial step is simply acknowledgement. Naming it, understanding that it's a common psychological pattern, not a personal flaw, is incredibly liberating. When you recognize the pattern, you can start to detach from it. Secondly, talk about it. Find trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues and share your feelings. You'll be amazed at how many people resonate with your experience. This normalizes the feeling and breaks down the isolation. Third, reframe your thoughts. Instead of saying, "I just got lucky," try, "My hard work and skills contributed to this success." Keep a success journal where you log your achievements, big and small, and reflect on the efforts that led to them. This creates concrete evidence to counter the internal critic. Fourth, embrace imperfection. Nobody is perfect. Strive for excellence, not flawlessness. Understand that mistakes are opportunities for learning, not proof of inadequacy. This is a difficult shift for many, especially perfectionists, but it's vital. Fifth, focus on contribution, not comparison. Instead of constantly comparing yourself to others' highlight reels, focus on the value you bring, the problems you solve, and the positive impact you have. This shifts your perspective from self-scrutiny to purpose. Finally, seek professional help if the feelings are overwhelming. A therapist or coach specializing in cognitive behavioral therapy can provide tools and strategies tailored to your specific situation, helping you reframe deeply ingrained beliefs and develop healthier coping mechanisms. It's a journey, not a destination, but each step helps you reclaim your inner confidence. Ultimately, overcoming imposter syndrome isn't about eradicating every single flicker of self-doubt. It's about learning to manage it, to recognize it for what it is, a feeling, not a fact, and to prevent it from holding you back. It's about building a stronger, more resilient self-image that can weather those moments of uncertainty. Imagine what you could achieve if that constant internal battle was quieted, if you could truly own your successes without caveat or fear. Think about the incredible energy you could reclaim, the bold risks you could take, and the profound joy you could experience in celebrating your accomplishments. Embracing your true worth means understanding that your value isn't contingent on absolute perfection or constant external validation. It comes from your unique combination of skills, experiences, and perspectives. And that is truly something special. It means accepting that everyone, even the most successful individuals you admire, has moments of doubt. And that's perfectly normal and part of the human experience. The key difference lies in how you respond to those doubts. Will you let them paralyze you, keeping you small and unseen? Or will you acknowledge them, understand their origin, and bravely move forward anyway? This journey towards self-acceptance and confidence requires self-compassion, patience, and a consistent willingness to challenge deeply ingrained patterns that have held you captive. But the payoff is immense. A life lived with greater authenticity, genuine confidence, and exhilarating freedom. So, the next time that little voice whispers fraud, remember that you are inherently capable. You are profoundly deserving of your successes, and you are far from alone in this universal human struggle. Your achievements are undeniably real, and so is your boundless potential. If this video resonated with you, and you've ever felt the pangs of imposter syndrome, let us know in the comments below. Sharing your experiences helps others feel less alone and can spark a powerful conversation. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more insights into self-improvement and psychology, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Your support truly helps us bring more valuable content to you. Until next time, keep challenging those limiting beliefs